Sarah the Gardener, and when you looked at my usual pan around introduction this time, you would have seen a garden that is in a bit of a sorry state. And it's not that I didn't want to get out there and tend to it, but unfortunately we had a bit of a crisis. This is what it was like a week ago.
Okay, just follow the leaf.
Yeah, not ideal. It flooded. And we only had 122 mils of rain. But this is the fourth rain event we've had since the 12th of March. The boffins are calling them rain events. It's all very exciting, very cool. Not. So on the 12th of March we had 162 mils of rain, which the ground was dry. It was cracked, it was parched, it hadn't seen much rain. Well, it's seen more rain than usual for a summer, but it was dry because it was summer, end of summer. And so we had all that rain and the ground just sucked it in and it was great, no problems. Then the week later we had 56 mils come through in a storm, and then we had 3 days later another 52, and it was the 52 that caused the surface to surface water lying on the top of the lawn. It was funny, oh, look at that, we've got puddles. But then this last week, on the back of Cyclone Debbie, which I shouldn't really complain too much because it pretty much ravaged Australia, but it came here and it rained in buckets. We only had 122 mils, like I said earlier, but that came in a 24-hour period and it just filled my garden. The top of the beds were to overflowing. I'll show you some pictures. Yeah, not a pretty sight. The greenhouse was ankle deep, and that's a little raised because I've got cobblestones down here on the floor. My shed, which has got a step up of about this much, that was flooded. All my ping pong balls that I use on top of my stakes, they were all floating about in the bottom of the shed. Our main shed, the big shed, it was about ankle deep. The problem with that is it got into our freezers and broke the motors, so all our frozen stuff is now someone else's freezer, so we have to sort that. Maybe insurance, I don't know. So it's not been a pleasant time. So it's just heartbreaking, really. But like I said, it could have been worse. And now the sun's shining, beautiful blue sky. So I'm going to get out there and try and repair as much as I can in the next 4 days before Easter, because guess what? We're getting another cyclone! Yay! Cyclone Cook, which is apparently in the moment ravaging Vanuatu and the Cook Islands and all of that Pacific. So they're going to get a load worse than we ever. I think it's a category 3 at the moment. So by the time we get it, it's a category nothing. It's not even a cyclone. But it's still full of water and it's going to pour down on already sodden soil. I'm just devastated. But there are upsides. I made the decision not to sow my early garlic in the ground because I knew Debbie was coming. So I put it in the greenhouse and look, it's starting to pop up. We have garlic coming up. This is my early. I have 2 kinds. It's called Purple Early and Early Pearl. I had Early Pearl in the garden last year, and even though the disaster of the rust was, yes, all doom and gloom around here, even though the disaster of the rust was devastating across the entire garlic crop, the Early Pearl actually survived the best, and the other ones, even though the cloves are like really little, we're eating them, so it's not a dead loss, it's just... So I'm excited to have them again in my garden, but I'm giving them the best head start they can. The other thing that I started from seed, I must have known something, is these are rhubarb seedlings. So, oh, I've got an ant on me. Get off. Horrible thing. So I got some cheap seeds in a clearance bin. It's always dangerous to rummage through those things. But we had significant flooding in the spring. It was really wet then as well. And my rhubarb just didn't do well all summer. So it was in my mind to replace them. And so when I saw the rhubarb seeds, I'm like, oh, I'm in. But what I'm thinking of doing is just clearing out the bed that the rhubarb's in and the artichoke. The artichoke got nailed. Oh, I'm really upset about the artichoke. I've had that in there. It's been with me for 7 years. It was one of the first seeds I planted. I didn't even know what it was. I just wanted to try it. And we love our artichoke. And it's been with us 7 years, and now it does not look. I'll show you in a moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear that bed out. There's still room to raise it this much. So hubby down gardener's got some digging to do. And then I'm going to plant some more artichoke. I have saved. So there's all the artichoke fluff. But there are, woo! Hang on, let me find your seed. So there's an artichoke seed. And we'll be planting that. So, there's several. I'll put them in. So we can't not have artichoke. We love it. It's so dramatic and amazing. So I'll re-sow the artichoke. I've got the rhubarb on the go. We'll raise the bed higher so that it's less likely, because it's obviously in a low point in the garden, because that's the bed that's been hit the worst, I think. Well, that I can see already. See, plants are kind of sneaky. If they've got drowning damage, they don't often show it straight away, and it's not for like a couple of months later, and you're like, well, that's not a bit peaky, I wonder why. And then you realise it was oxygen deprived for quite some time in a storm. Yeah, so the other thing that I'm going to do in the greenhouse today is have a trapeze seedlings. Normally at this time of year I can get away with sowing them directly into the soil, but because of all those rain, the first 2 lots of seed just disappeared. They rotted before they came up, which was really annoying. So I've just made the decision to plant these guys in the greenhouse, and now these are a good size to go into the soil, and the roots are coming through the bottom. They're a good size. They're not tangled yet in each other. Give them a couple of days and they will. But I don't want to put them out again, not just yet. I need to wait to see what Cyclone Cook does. And goodness knows what's going to happen next week. Storm a week. Woo! So what we're going to do is I'm just going to put them into bigger pots, just so they can keep continuing to grow, because they will have run out of what they've got in there. And then once the weather calms down, I'll move them out. Hopefully it doesn't get cold quickly. That would be my next nemesis, is if autumn turns to winter prematurely. It's a lot of chit chat. Come and have a look in the garden and just look at my sorry state of a garden. Come with me, let's go, come on. This is what I was talking about. This is just so upsetting. I've had these artichoke. I mean, maybe they'll come back. I mean, maybe. But it might be a good idea to raise this bed. There is room to do it. You can see over here, there's room to raise them up. So I'm going to have to. The other thing I'm going to do is take seeds off the asparagus, because while they all look okay at the moment, who knows what damage has been done to the crown, and I may need to pop a few in the gaps. I'm sure there'll be gaps. I bet you there'll be gaps. Asparagus is actually really easy to grow from seed. There's about There's quite a few in there. So if you have a look, I'll just squeeze this so you can see. Ooh, I dropped them. So you can see there's some asparagus seeds, and I can plant those up. Most of these have been grown from seed, and it's good to grow from seed so that it can evolve into the right conditions for your garden. So hopefully I can breed some flood resistant asparagus that don't mind getting their feet wet too much. I had high hopes. I did. Before the storm, these plants were looking lush and gorgeous. And now, because they were late going in, and this was my one shot at getting a watermelon. Don't even want to talk about my rock melons. I mean, seriously. Oh, the whole bed is just... I might as well rip them out now. Oh, storms. Oh, hold on. Here's a chance. Maybe that end is lower than this one. These plants still look healthy. And here's a good size. All is not lost. We shall have melons. The kidney beans, I think they're dried in the point of view that they have finished growing and are dry seeds in here. But they're not dry in that it still feels damp and sodden from the rain. So I'll give this, well, until the rain starts. I'll be out here maybe Thursday if it stays like this, and harvest them, and then I can have my supply of kidney beans for the winter. Oh, there's a lot in there. It's a good sign. It would seem Rocket doesn't like wet feet. Some of my peppers are a bit wilty, but not all of them. So I have my work cut out for me because a lot of them have come ready. I think I've got some pickling to do. Ah, isn't that devastating? But that's the thing, gardens are a transient thing, you know. There's always next season. It better be a good one. Plants regrow from seed, it's not the end of the world. So, just one other thing as well. I just wanted to point out that I have a little thing going on here. Now, this is something I want you to learn from. This is, I had a little dry patch on my skin. It was there for a while. I thought this isn't going anywhere, so I went to my doctor. And my doctor said, this is, if you didn't do anything to that, it would turn into a thing. That would turn into a thing that could turn into skin cancer. And it was like, ah. So she's given me some treatment, and I'm working on that, and I'm going to be fine. It's going to be absolutely okay. But I just want you to learn from me so that you don't have to go through the worry and stress of something like this. You're in the garden in the heat of the summer at the hottest point, and because it's when plants like to grow. And you're at risk of getting sunburned. And of course, comes with sunburn is the risk of skin cancer. So I want you to learn from this is sunscreen. Cover it several times a day. Just keep topping it up. You're out in the heat of the sun. It's dangerous. Wear a hat. Probably long sleeve shirt. I would if it was in the height of summer. And just keep yourself safe. You know, we're growing all this wonderful food so we can eat to have our bodies healthy on the inside. We need to make sure that we protect the outside as well, so that it's not to waste. But there's a lot for me to be getting on with in the garden this week so that I can get ready for the next deluge. Yay! So I'm going to start by transplanting these peas into bigger pots. So thanks so much for watching. Come again next time. I'm sure it will be wet again because yay, we're entering the cold season. So thanks for watching. Take care and have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye bye.